everyone, and welcome to another episode of the RIP Tour podcast. If you're listening or watching, this is our tips and tricks beginner's guide with a bit of a twist. This is our Fallout inspired RIP Tour survival guide. So if you are familiar with the games, there is a Wasteland survival guide that you specifically get in Fallout 3. So we decided to mix it up a little bit and use one of the IPs we're getting this year as a theme for our beginner's guide. Now, we were humming and hawing about releasing another one because we did do one last year, but there's been quite a few changes. We've had quite a lot of updates already, so we thought, you know what, we'll release one because a lot of people have let us know that it's their first time coming to Halloween Horror Nights. So, I can't do this alone. If you are watching, you've already seen. But Gary, what's going on? Nice to have you back.
I'm back. I've been very absent this year, but we've had a lot of content to push out, haven't we? So I've had to take one from the team and just sit in the shadows and watch for a while. But it's good to be back. I'm happy, especially doing this episode. I always like doing the tips and tricks and stuff and help people get the best out of their time at Horror Nights.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes for you the time difference is just difficult to get on, but just know Gary's always quarterbacking from our group chat. So cool. Well, let's get into it. We'll waste no time. So, like I've said, this is our tips and tricks beginner's guide. So whether it's your first time attending Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, or you're just looking for a little bit of guidance from some self-proclaimed event professionals like ourselves, we've put together an event guide just to make your HHN 34 experience just a little bit more enjoyable.
Yeah, so HHN 34 is scheduled to run from select days starting in August, which is crazy. So it starts August 29th through to November 2nd, totaling 48 days. So that is a lot of Horror Nights to fit in. There's plenty of options to have as well if you're flexible. Every event night of HHN 34 will run from 6:30 and close till 2 a.m, which is more time. So 48 nights with those hours is crazy. But sometimes they do have adjusted times, so do check the Universal app to account for that as well. This year's event will feature 10 houses, 4 scare zones, 2 street experiences, and 2 shows, and a sort of... They've upped the food game, haven't they? So we can almost call it now a food festival. I would be happy calling Horror Nights a little bit of a food festival as well. Would you agree?
I completely agree. Yeah, the food booths and the sort of quality of food, they've really stepped up the game. And I think it's a case of Universal doing this for all their holidays that they celebrate now, whether it's Mardi Gras, holidays at Universal, or Halloween Horror Nights. That's something we look forward to, those menus coming out and trying the food.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, like, if you think, 9-10 years ago, pizza fries were revolutionary. We were excited every year to get the pizza fries, but now we get some crazy food combinations that every year everybody is waiting for those food announcements. It's almost as exciting as the houses now. So me, and I know you are as well, are very excited to see what we're going to get this year.
Yeah, 100%. And what about the we'll get into the details of them, but what are your thoughts on the 2 street experiences and finally, again, 2 shows out there in the streets?
I think this is just a callback to the early days of Horror Nights where, we've had Julie Zimmerman, co-creator of Horror Nights, on the show, and her line was, they wanted that party atmosphere, and I think we're getting that slightly back this year with a full-on party zone, which is nice just to take a little bit of an escape from the horror. Maybe have a little socialise with a drink and listen to some music. And then we also have the Mel's experience as well, which I think is a nice welcomed addition rather than just 5 scare zones. So I would happily lose a scare zone to get 1 or 2 different experiences at the event.
Yeah, 100%. And if you think about like San Francisco, just for example, we have Club Horror there. A lot of the times I'm just walking around that zone anyway. It's almost redundant to me. So doing something a little bit different, I'm just curious.
It's a hard area to execute a zone in. The earlier days, I remember we had Dead Man's Wharf up there, and I was watching videos back not a while ago from my YouTube, and there was just so much space because there wasn't as many people there as there is now. But now, because the event is such a mega event, and as well, like, we've had houses dumped out there in the past as well, and it just makes it a logistical nightmare So I think like something like a party zone is probably going to be a lot more manageable.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into what's going to be at the event. So we've titled this big, Be Smart, Be Safe out there in the scare zone. So once again, Halloween Horror Nights 34 will be held at Universal Studios Florida. Navigating through the park during HHN can be tricky if you aren't familiar with the event, as the queue lines for houses typically weave through backstage areas on their way to the sound stages or tents that hold the haunted houses. Probably a little bit more so this year with a lot of construction going on. If it's your first time, be sure to download the Universal Orlando app. Unfortunately, printer maps no longer exist. Tear rolling down my eye there.
And very, very salty about that still.
Very salty still. It's been like, 2-3 years now, but I'm still salty. And then the scare zone locations. Here we go. So you're walking in the park. Right in front of you will be Origins of Horror. And for the first time since probably 30 years, 30 Fears, and I think the last one you saw there was probably an arcade.
Yeah,
2019. Going down Illumination Avenue there. So very excited for this sort of entrance zone to stretch down again. If you go in the park and turn right, we have Masquerade Dance with Death on what we call Hollywood Boulevard. We have some nice stages set up there. If you keep moving through Hollywood Boulevard, we have a very, very highly anticipated Cat Lady of Crooked Lane. At the end there, before Springfield, you do have the Cat Lady's house. Death Eaters in Diagon Alley. We have Club Horror in San Francisco. Toxic 20s in New York. And we have Mel's Dying Zombies. The rest of the areas of the park should be scare-free. So if you have a scaredy cat in your party, they can feel a sense of ease maybe outside these areas. The scare zones are obviously marked with set decor and lots of fog. Are you, without giving too much away, because we have a hype list, what are your thoughts just as a whole on the scare zones?
I think they sound brilliant. You know, I would probably say since HHN 30, the zones have lacked a little bit, and you can definitely tell the budget has went into the houses. You know, we've secured some mega IPs to come to the event, which is again great for Horror Nights. But it's nice to see a lot more effort in lore and backstory going to these zones this year. Excited.
Yeah, they know the street experience and zones have been lacking, and they sort of addressed that as Spooky Empire 2. So that now they want a centralized theme weaved into all the scare zones and just really bring that sort of scare zone experience back. Because like you say, from 30, it's just been lacking. We've maybe had one gem or one standout per year maybe, and that's almost like best of a bad bunch type deal.
So moving on is Choose Your Vault. So we have 10 houses this year. And first off, we have El Artista, a Spanish haunting located in Soundstage 22. We have Five Nights at Freddy's in Soundstage 23. We have WWE, the Horrors of Wyatt 6 in Soundstage 23 as well. We have Grave of Flesh in Soundstage 24. We have Terrifier in Soundstage 25. And then we have Jason Universe in the Fast and Furious queue. We have Hatchet and Chains in Sprung Tent 1. Dolls Let's Play Dead in Sprung Tent 2. Golkin Monsters of the North in Sprung Tent 3. Fallout, which I'm surprised is in a tent in Sprung Tent 4. And also, if you need a break from the scares, many of the rides in Universal are open as well, which I do enjoy doing rides during Horror Nights as well. I think it's a fun way to break up the night, especially because there'll be mega low wait times. But we have Transformers, The Mummy, Escape from Gringotts, and Men in Black open. And I really don't think it can go wrong with a little Men in Black run midnight at Horror Nights.
No, I don't either. And you know what's funny too? Like losing Rocket, it's almost like part of the skyline, and that sort of flashing lights and light package on Rip Ride Rocket is almost like part of your Halloween Horror Nights experience.
It's going to be crazy standing backstage underneath the track and not hearing people scream.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird.
I completely agree. Now, in terms of these houses, you mentioned Fallout. I'm a little bit surprised that it's in a sprung tent. Maybe I can understand a little bit why, because maybe the sprung tent almost is like a vault maybe situation. But I think it would have benefited maybe from a big soundstage. If I'm looking at this from the outside in, I'm swapping Fallout for Grave of Flesh, and maybe
that's exactly what I was thinking as well. The only blessing is Sprung 10-4 is one of the new ones, isn't it? I think so. It's a lot bigger than the other tents, the original tents. So I was very surprised last year at what they did with those new tents in terms of how vertical they could make the sets look. So I think once we're inside, we won't actually feel like it's in a tent.
Yeah. Now, we're going to get to Stay. In fact, we'll leave it because I was going to mention Stay and Scream and on how to tackle this from our perspective, but we'll save that. So we're going to go on to provisions, which we mentioned a moment ago. Food and drink now at Halloween Horror Nights is a whole other experience in itself. You can probably, if you're going multi-nights, you could probably plan one night just to go around and try the food and drinks, not necessarily do any of the mazes. But so let's get into it a little bit. So for our themed booths this year, we have the Clown Cafe for Terrifier. We have the Firefly Funhouse for WWE. We have Vault 33 for Fallout. We almost have like a cabin shack type, which I think's probably going to be Jason Universe. We have a saloon looking one. You know how they always have that one by the bridge to Springfield? You normally have a booth there. That looks like a saloon, almost Hatchet and Chains, like a Western style. And at time of recording, August the 9th on a Sunday, we had two more pop up. One is like a clown looking one, and then sort of like a weathered, rustic, sort of like gargoyle looking one as well. So plenty of food booths coming up. But Five Nights at Freddy's right now has no food booth. They've got to do something with Lewis, surely.
100%. And if they don't, it's a massive mistake because they've got a pizzeria sitting there in the park just for what it would take to throw some Five Nights at Freddy's overlay. You know, they did a good job with the San Fran Candy Co. last year. What was that? That was Major Sweets?
Major Sweets, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I thought that was great. And then they did the Jaws overlay for the summer. So that we know they can do easy, quick overlays. So they don't even have to change the food. You know, it's pizza. So just give us some Freddy Fazbear's.
Yeah, and it's almost like a perfect location too, because it's just outside of the New York zone and it's far enough away from Club Horror in San Francisco that you can just dedicate that to Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, it's almost like I always say, it's low-hanging fruit. It's right there. Just take it. Just make sure you do it. Any thoughts on the food booths, on like food that you'd like to see? I think Fallout, intrigues me the most. It's almost like when we had Last of Us, and they're almost like those provisions and rations type.
I was just about to say, like, it gave me like Last of Us vibes, you know, with the Fedra can.
Yeah.
I would love to see something in like a sort of rations tin, or like some aged sort of tin where the label looks like weathered and old, and it looks like they've been, you know, storing it for years. I definitely think the Clown Cafe is just whatever it is going to have a lot of fake blood thrown on it, you know, a lot of red food dye all over it and stuff.
Maybe we get the blood bags back, maybe, if it's a Clown Cafe.
Yeah, definitely that would be good. And I would like to see some form of like popcorn, you know, with some blood in it or something like that. I think they did something, maybe it's for Chucky, I can't remember. I remember seeing popcorn with like red bits in, so I hope we get something like that. Yeah,
that's almost like a no-brainer. And then everyone's saying, I think Matt said it on our live for the Jason Universe one, having s'mores like they did for Ghostbusters, called Jason S'mores.
That's amazing. Get that trademarked right now. That's amazing. And that's really cool.
And on the live as well, in the chats, because you may have missed the chat bit, was like the Firefly Funhouse one. They should also have a WWE one called Snackdown instead of SmackDown.
Pun City right there.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was on Thursday's live. Just Pun City. It was great. But yeah, just to kind of wrap up food and drinks, there's going to be more. There's going to be we might go into it, but there's going to be special drinks at the hotel bars probably. There's going to be we're going to get to the tribute store in a moment, but there's things in the tribute store. There's always things popping up around. There are also staples, like we mentioned. What are our staples, Gary? We have pizza fries,
Pizza
taters.
Skull, that was a favourite.
Yep.
The Twisted Taters. What else have we been having? We've had a lot of themed, like, cupcakes and stuff.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. We had did they do them last year? I can't remember. The sweet potato pizza fries. Can't remember seeing them, but they did those for a few years.
They did.
With the sweet potato and marshmallow and chocolate, they were pretty good. And they also do the really weird food as well. So
always do a strange one, don't they?
We'll have to try it for science, of course.
Absolutely.
I'm still recovering from the Chucky Burger from a few years ago because that did not sit right with me.
Yeah, Chucky Burger, Carnival Dog.
I hated that Carnival Dog, but Sam, Expedition Theme Park, stands. He'll fight anyone for that hot dog. He thinks it was amazing.
Yeah, and I also want, you know how we had for triplets the bloody goodie bag?
That was really, really good.
That was nice.
Me and Becca had that a couple of nights. Really good. I mean, it was just like, what was it? Just salt? Was it just salt?
It was almost like salt and pepper chips and chicken pieces.
Yeah, it was, but it was good. But I like how they do the stuff themed as well as generic, horror.
They should have that
stuff.
for Terrifier, like a bath bag maybe.
Yeah,
because
maybe he's doing some sort of cake as well for him, definitely.
Yeah, because I know when Terrifier 3, they were giving like bath bags out to people at the movies. So like a bath bag, but have it like a bloody goodie bag type thing where you get like a meal in it, essentially.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun.
Yeah, that's it. Food and drink.
So moving on, we have on stage in person. So we have our ticket options. These have been a bit controversial the last couple of years. Not everyone has always managed to get the tickets that they want over the last 2 years. So tickets are available online through the Horror Nights website or in person at Universal. However, we do recommend purchasing your tickets well in advance because some of them are sold out already by the time we are recording this. Many nights as well will sell out for single night tickets as well, especially early September and late October once it gets closer to Halloween. Single night tickets vary on the day of the week and the forecast for popularity for a particular night, and express pass tickets are sold separately and they also have a floating price scale. One thing to note as well, and it's not advertised a lot, is express normally goes cheaper. I think it's after 11 p.m. Yeah, I think it pretty much goes half price. So I think that's still a pretty good deal because from 11 till 2 with express, you could run each house twice. I would be comfortable saying.
Yeah, I would completely agree. Yeah, because they usually sell it at a cheaper price, don't they, at the 11? Because right now, you're looking at an event night ticket plus your express. Honestly, after tax, you're probably talking between 300 to 400 with a ticket and express, which leads on to our next point. If you're planning to be at the event multiple nights in September, I know a lot of British people tend to come September, October. Fall is a big popular time of year for Brits. A lot of people tend to get the Rush of Fear, which gives you access to pretty much every night in September. They've sort of been like ticking away at it because it used to like have the whole of September at one point, didn't it?
Yeah, I think they've sort of realised that with the event starting earlier, they're actually giving away free nights on that ticket.
Yeah.
So now they're limiting it to like to the nights, total nights, as opposed to the month of September.
Yeah, exactly. So like the event doesn't start on like the 7th or 8th anymore. It starts in August. So they have to, basically they're giving you a similar amount of nights, but the event just starts earlier, that's all. But Rush of Fear is a great option. We're not going to go into prices, but in terms of bang for your buck, it's absolutely worth it. It's probably the same price as maybe 2 or 3 night tickets. If you are planning to spend multiple nights at the event throughout the entire run, then frequent fear passes are probably the option for you. So we do have frequent fear passes, which are opening and closing weekends always. And then every night minus Friday and Saturday, we have frequent fear plus, which did you get this year?
Yeah.
Yep, same. Okay, so frequent fear plus pass is opening and closing weekends every night except Saturdays. And then Ultimate Fear is, of course, every single night of Halloween Horror Nights 34.
I did Ultimate Fear 1 year, and I was burnt out of Horror Nights over, I think it was the year we came for 3 weeks. And I think, about
Kind of burnt out
15,
the end.
16 nights I went to Horror Nights in 3 weeks, and I was never again.
Yeah, because like if you do like 3 weeks worth of Horror Nights over the season, that's a little different. But you doing it in a 3-week holiday, that could be burnout. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got me money's worth, but trying to do full park days and then being at Horror Nights every day takes its toll.
Yeah.
So express passes, if you only have one night at Halloween Horror Nights, either an express pass or an RIP tour, not us, the original RIP tour, is the best way to go to see all the houses, shows, zones in one night. They are both pricey, but it's the only way to guarantee to see everything in one night, because you get a tour guide and you can just see everything as well. If you do the private tour, you can cater it to what you want to do, I believe. So you can, if you have like the private tour, it will be only your group. And once you've done the houses, you can, I think you have the guide to like 11 or midnight, I think. I'm not too sure. And then once you've done everything, you can ask to go back to your favourite houses and all that sort of stuff. And there also is a public tour as well. If you can't fill a private one, you can do the public one, but you will be with other people, and you're not guaranteed to get everything repeated because other people may want to do different things. But if you are going multiple nights, I wouldn't stress too much. I'm probably classed as a tourist because I am coming from the UK, but I managed to see everything in a 2-week period with my ticket over, the 2 weeks, multiple times. I think last year I had about 50 plus house runs last year, just using the frequent flyer with Express, so it's definitely doable. However, as we discussed earlier in the season, Express options for frequent flyer passes have sold out at this time, with the exception of Rush at Fear. I think now that's the only one that is still for sale. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about if you can upgrade those either. So, okay, so in terms of our tips on how to tackle and get the best out of your night, whether you have Express or not, we're going to save it till we get to our Stay and Scream, which is coming up right now. So this is called Don't Lose Your Head, Stay and Scream. So we had it official. We got the rumblings, didn't we, that it would be changing a few weeks ago that we posted. And that came from travel agents who, more than me in terms of those UK sites as well. They normally get a lot of the info up front and it could fall through the cracks a little bit. So let me go ahead, and this is on the official website as well. So this is not a leak or a spoiler or anything. This is on Universal's website. Stay the day and be one of the first in at night. So brand new for 2025. When you arrive at the park, starting at 3 p.m, you'll get a wristband at one of the check-in locations, which is Lombard's Seafood Grill, Illumination's Minions Cafe, and Illumination's VillainCon Minion Blast. Okay, so after that, instead of being in one designated area, you'll be free to explore the park to catch a ride or show, grab a bite, shop for merch, or simply take in the sights before the event opens. Then, starting at 4 p.m, you can enter select haunted houses queues with that said wristband. Okay, so talk to me on that new changes for 2025.
It's either going to be really, really good or really, really bad. I think good. I've never done Stay and Scream for the past 3-4 years due to how busy it is. It's just not my idea of fun anymore. Years ago, you could turn up to Finnegan's at 4 p.m. You could walk in the bar, grab a drink, be no queue, and you would be able to roam New York and walk around and sit on the stairs. And then they brought in the switchbacks and the fences, and it was like queuing for a concert. It's just too much, especially in that sun. So with the events got more and more popular now, they've had to do something. And I think wristbands is a good idea. It works great for Mickey's Not So Scary. We've both done that, and you get the wristband as you go in. You get in early. And, they clear the park of normal guests. If you don't have a wristband, you get kicked out.
Yep.
The only issue I can see with this is people hugely congregating, waiting for the house lines to open. But then again, on the plus side, once those open, all those guests are going to be absorbed into the queue.
Right.
So I can't see it being an issue for too long. I don't know what your thoughts on that is.
Yeah, I think you've sort of explained it. I mean, the fact that you never had a good time in like recent years with Stay and Scream, it's so hot, it's so crowded, you're sort of penned in, they start the queues earlier, so you're in the switchbacks in the heat. I think it just doesn't make for a good time. It just really doesn't. So I'm glad they're trying something a little bit different. The wristband works at Mickey's Not So Scary. There's no reason why it's not going to work here. Like, the ops could be a little bit unpredictable, maybe opening weekend until they start finding their feet with this routine. But like, it just makes complete sense. Like, I know we're a Halloween Horror Nights podcast, but for example, Mickey's Not So Scary, you get your wristband, you can go roam. Even at 4 p.m. when these lines open, you can still roam. You don't have to get into the line. Like, for example, Mickey's Not So Scary, you can get your wristband, you can roam. Some people go and wait where Jack and Sally meet, for example. So when Not So Scary starts, they're first in line to meet Jack and Sally and get like that hour, 2 hour wait out the way. Same here, you get into your line at 4, you might have to wait for maybe an hour, because I think the first houses are going to start like 5:15, I think I read from the initial one. So just to kind of go into it a little bit more, if you don't plan to utilize Stay and Scream, get to the gates early to take in the opening ceremonies. Each night there's a short show at the front gates before the park opens. No spoilers, but I think that's going to change this year too. While they say the park opens at 6:30, most nights they open the gates a little earlier. So plan to be there on the early side if you want to jump on the crowds inside the park. Make a list of the houses and the scare zones you most want to see and prioritize those. Okay? And you can utilize the app too for wait times. And wait times are usually up around the park too. So with this new Stay and Scream, it's a little bit different on our sort of usual tips and tricks. The way I'm looking at it is, if you don't have Express, get into the park with either your Scream Early ticket, your annual pass, your daytime ticket, whatever it may be. Get your wristband at 3. Get into one of those big IP mazes at 4. Knock that out at like 5:15. You can then get in the other big IP that's already open. Knock those 2 out. And then jump on the app, maybe go to the back of the park and then circle back to those bigger IPs that may have a wait time now. That's how I would probably do it if I didn't have Express. What about you?
Yeah, in the older days of Stay and Scream, you could have 4 or 5 houses done almost before the gates officially really open. Even now, I think you could get 3 houses done before the gates open, or at least be in line for that third house come 6 p.m. when they start letting guests in. And if you've done 3 of the biggest houses before then, or even 3 of the smaller houses at the back of the park, you've got 3 out of the 10 done.
Yeah.
And it just takes a little bit of pressure off to enjoy your night a little bit more, especially if you plan on being there around that time anyway. It just makes sense. It's not costing you any money. It's just a way of maximizing your time a lot better rather than trying to just cram houses in all night.
Yeah, and doing everything in one night. So I'm talking 10 houses, the 4 zones, 2 experiences, and 2 shows. It's doable. It's definitely doable if you do it right. But I think to do it and enjoy the zones, have some food, and see the shows, you sort of have to do this at 4 p.m. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. And if you don't want to do that, and you're not, you're just more of a casual fan, and you're not that bothered about doing all 10 houses, or if you're not bothered about doing everything, just make a game plan and maybe pick 4 or 5 houses that are must-dos, 1 or 2 scare zones that are must-dos, food items that are must-dos, even if it's a show that you want to do. That way you've got at least a little bit of a game plan ahead to get the things you want to do, because there may be some things at the event that you're not interested in. Not everyone likes everything horror. So don't waste your time on doing those things just to say, I've done it. Prioritize what's right for you at the event.
Great point. Yeah, and it does have some advantages, especially on weeknights. While it's not quite empty, it used to be late nights. At the end of the night, crowds do start to thin. a little later you stay, especially the ones that have been there since 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And you'll find your people with Express may have knocked everything out and left. So if you're a night owl, like our other tour guide Lizz, use that to your advantage. In that sort of 12 till 2 p.m. time, you can get a lot of runs in those houses with lower wait times.
100%. I mean, me personally, and I know you're the same, we tend to go in later and stay later. So normally I would never be in the park till about 8, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Because I'm at our secret Stay and Scream location. It's not what happened. And I just prefer going in later, miss the crowds. And I don't want to sound bad saying this, but around 9-10 is when the teenagers start filtering out because they've got bedtimes and they've got to get up for school and all that sort of stuff. So
curfews.
Yeah, so that's when they're starting to filter out. So that does thin the crowds a lot because it is very teenager heavy now with the big IPs. So definitely a tip to think about as well.
Yeah, I think we the only time I really go in on time would be opening night. But other than that, I'm a sort of late entrance kind of person, and then go around the zone, use my express pass. But yeah, that's just us.
Okay, moving on. So we next have up extra. Read all about it. You can tell Ash has designed these titles. Event extras. So Horror Nights isn't just a one and done event. There's a lot of different things that you can add on. Some free and some cost. So first up we have Unmasking the Horror, which is one of our favourites. If you want to take all the details of the houses in and get more info on the backstories, creation, all that sort of stuff, we suggest booking the Unmasking tour. We've done it several years in a row. Brilliant. Value for money. There's 2 different options you can get. You can do a 3 house or a 6 house. And yes, that is right. That means that there is 1 house that won't be on the tour every year. The prices vary based on day and if you want to do a 3 house and 6 house. So this year, the 3 house tour includes Hatchet and Chains, Dolls Let's Play Dead, Grave of Flesh, and then the 6 house tour has Fallout, Jason Universe, Terrifier, Gulkin, El Artista, and Wyatt 6. Now I'm upset. This is the first year in I think 5 years or 4 years I decided not to do Unmasking, and this is the lineup. So I'm very sad.
Yeah, that's when I saw that 6. I have the 6 house tour. I'm doing it September 17th, I think it is. When I saw that 6 house tour, my word, that is some lineup and a half. The IPs on there, I'm super hyped about being on there. El Artista, they did say it's Spooky Empire. Make sure you see this on the Unmasking the Horror tour. So I cannot wait for this. Yeah, are you sad? Very sad.
I am. And the only reason I'm not doing it is because it does take up quite a lot of time. It pretty much takes up a whole day.
Yep.
And since we're only in town for 2 weeks and Epic Universe has just opened and I've only been to Epic Universe twice, and that sounds weird to say, it's only been open a couple of months, but I've already been twice from the UK. I wanted a few more Epic days. So next year I'll probably be doing the tour again, but this year I've sacrificed a slice of Horror Nights to go to Epic Universe.
Yeah, I think I did 21, 25, and then 30, 32, 33, because I missed 31. I didn't booked 31, but I let somebody else go in my place. But these are always fun. Big change. Well, I say change, it's almost come back again, is on the 6 house tour. They do feed us a buffet style lunch this year, which is nice. So just to kind of break it down, the 6 house tour, you do 3, break for a lunch, and then 3 again. How long would you say? Maybe like a 5 hour with 5 hours maybe?
I would say 6 in total, an hour with lunch.
Yep.
Because you get an hour lunch and you can't go out the park. So they guide you out of the park. So you don't actually need a Universal ticket or a Halloween Horror Nights ticket to do this.
Right.
But if you don't have either, they escort you back outside of the park. If you've got an annual pass or a daytime ticket, you can scan in, get some lunch in the park. Last year, I think we go to Minions for lunch.
We did, yes. And I think the year before, maybe Hard Rock, was it? I think something like that.
Yeah, so they scan us into the entrances at Blue Man Group. So we just looped around, went into Minions, scanned back out the park, went back to Blue Man Group for the tour again. And you can do what you want. But this year, you don't even have to do that, which is better because it is quite stressful trying to like pick somewhere to go for lunch, order it, eat it, and get back in that time frame.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the Six House tour, if you are doing Halloween Horror Nights that night too, depending when it finishes, I would probably rest the feet for a little bit, just because it's just you're standing and walking for so long.
Yeah, my dogs were barking by the end of the tour for sure.
I was plane, trains, and automobiles. We also have hotel bars. Now, we haven't got any yet. None have been announced yet. They usually have one at each resort, and they normally do like a photo op with it, depending on what theme. And we also have the Dead Coconut Club, which is this is outside the park in City Walk. And they always do an overlay. Well, I say always, the last like 4 or 5 years. It does receive that Halloween overlay. This year's theme is the Coven, which will open to pass holders starting on Tuesday, August the 26th. So last year, Dead Coconut operated as a lounge from 4 to 9 and then switched to a club with a DJ from 9 till close. So what about this theming? Witch's sort of lair? I hear the name.
I think no matter what theme they picked this year, there was always going to be some shrugs because of last year's theming.
Yeah.
I don't think they can physically top that. And then when I saw the logo for this one, I didn't really think much of it. Maybe it'll be different when I get there or when I see some pictures, but last year was just sheer perfection.
It was so good. Last year was unbelievable. The music in there was amazing. That was just me to a T, that music. Loved it.
I would just be happy with a repeat of that.
Yeah.
Like 100% repeat, different vampires maybe, but I would have that theme back.
Yeah.
Again.
And that's me. I love like 80s sort of like pop music. That's just me. I loved it. Yeah, like you said, we'll go into it with an open mind. I'm not massive on the theme. I don't like the logo. I don't like Coven with a K either. It just does. I don't know. It's not working for me right now. Hopefully, I'm pleasantly surprised with it. We're gonna check it out, of course, but yeah, I'm just not too hyped for it right now. And then we do have the tribute store again. Like Stay and Scream, big changes this year. Before we get into it, people may not know what this tribute store is. This is the 10th anniversary of the tribute store. It started as a little sort of museum and store in the Aftermath store for Twister Ride It Out. And it's evolved into a sort of 4-room, extravagant, sort of decorative experience, an immersive walkthrough. It is scare-free, so this should never be missed. It usually has event merchandise. It has merchandise to the IPs. We got in a stretch, Gary, from like 26 to 29. These tribute stores were very IP heavy, even the decor were. And then from 30 to 33, they were almost like original takes with just IP merch in there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Again, like the food, it's evolved, hasn't it? And now they've got a dedicated team for just the tribute store and stuff. And it's got better each year. From the first year inside the Twister store, which just it had a couple of Jack t-shirts and a few prints and mugs and stuff, to now. I think the last store, it was 4 or 5 different rooms, and each room's got a different vibe and theme. And there's a whole lighting package. There's projection mapping. There's sound effects.
The whole story to it too.
Yeah, I mean the 2018 one. We had the Snope that looked like the dust to make you feel like you were in the Upside Down.
Yeah.
On the Stranger Things theme, which was that was an experience in itself. And one tip I will give is I wouldn't do it during the event. If you've got a daytime ticket, the tribute store is open during the day, and it's a lot less busy as well. So if you've got a multi-day ticket, don't think you've got to go during Horror Nights because it's open during the day. It's a lot less busy, so you can have a look around, take it in, buy what you need to buy, and then you don't need to waste time shopping. on the event night.
That's a great point, because you don't. This is not annual pass or event specific. You can do this as a regular daytime guest during the day too. So here is the big change. So beginning August 26th at Universal Orlando Resort, guests can step inside the remains of the abandoned Museum of Antiquities in this year's all-new Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, which will take over the Sahara Traders store and the arcade in the New York area of Universal Studios, Florida. So we are not getting the usual location, which is the sort of extended queue for the Mummy and the Macy's facade at the end. That is gone. So let me rephrase that. It's not gone, we're just not using it. Guests will enter the highly themed retail space through the main atrium of the museum and venture into the decrepit exhibit halls where an ancient evil was once unleashed and may still be lurking in the shadows. While shopping for the latest Halloween Horror Nights merch, plus beyond the haunted house-inspired merchandise, Universal Orlando is expanding its fan-favourite lineup to celebrate the beloved, questionable, Lil Boo, and the retro chic vibes of Mel's Dying, with fresh items available at the Universal Studios store and City Walk beginning August 19th. It's now August 9th. A lot of Mel's Dying stuff and Lil Boo is already out there, people. So ignore the August 19th for those specific merch, because they're already out, unless they're going to have a lot more of them. Gary, we love the tribute store. It's always an experience. What are your thoughts on using, I think is it going to be all of Sahara Trees? It's got to be half of it, surely, because it's the Mummy exit queue and then the Palace Arcade.
Well, the Mummy is closing for 3 days for slight refurbishment, so it's obviously linked to do some rework to the tribute store. I really hate saying this word lazy, but for the 10th year anniversary, I think the location and theme is a little bit lazy, because Sahara Traders looks like a museum anyway, you know,
right,
with that Mummy type theme. And it's the actual exit is pretty small. And the arcade itself wasn't very big either. And, is it just going to be sort of one room, multiple rooms? Are they going to put up fake partitions? I just can't visualize how they're going to do it. That's the standard that we've had over the last few years.
Yeah, that's a great point, not being able to visualize. I'm the same way. I'm like, because the arcade's like an open space. If you move the machines out of there, it's just an open space. Like if they put it, like for example, they put a partition in the middle, it'd be very narrow on each side. Like, so they'd have to have it all open.
It's not a good shape. It's a long, thin shape, that arcade. It's not
almost
like a big
rectangle.
Square room. Exactly. It's not a big square room. So I don't know. I just think for the 10-year anniversary, it should have been a callback to the last 10 years.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Do you know where the rooms had something from every of the last 10 years in? I thought that would have been a nice touch, but I really thought we would have seen something like that maybe the tribute store doesn't mean as much to a lot of people as it does to us, but
maybe
10-year anniversary is a pretty big thing.
Yeah, and also they were very, very big on the theme running throughout the entire event and every department being cohesive with it. This could surprise us, but Museum of Antiquities doesn't strike me as being in theme with the rest of the event either.
Not when we've got, the conservatory, and, we talked about this when the conservatory was announced. Was the facade going to be, outside Macy's as a huge, glass conservatory with stained glass windows?
Yep.
Obviously not now, so I just don't see how this theme sort of lines up. I'm sure they'll do a great job. I'm not knocking anybody's work. Whether we have something, sort of passive to say, they always do a great job and put the heart and soul into it. So I trust that they can do the right thing and make it amazing, but it's just, again, very hard to visualize because we've never seen it before.
Yeah, and we did hear sort of rumblings, I don't know how true it is, that other areas may get a little makeover with like the Five and Dime or San Francisco Candy Company maybe having a little makeover too, to fit in with having multiple little experiences, but we'll see. But speaking of the tribute store and what's usually in there, it's merch. Now we have event-specific merch, but we also have the IPs that will be represented. So we did get pictures of these yesterday. We have Five Nights at Freddy's, Terrifier, Fallout, WWE The Wyatt Six, and also, for the first time ever stateside, we have Hamikuma, which is the sort of deranged bear that they have over in the Asian parks. Talk through some of this merch now. We're not going to go through it one by one, but any particular merch pique your interest there?
Yeah, the Terrifier t-shirt is coming home with me.
Yep.
100%. I do really like the Freddy Fazbear sign as well. I think that looks great. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see I collect all of the Universal signs. So this one may be coming home to add to the collection. I've even, thanks to Ash, my Twitter name is now Freddy Gazbear for the Halloween season. And do you know that Terrifier Santa? Yep. Someone asked me if it was a popcorn bucket, and I think that would be such a cool idea if it was.
I think it must be, and it opens the back of his head.
That would be so cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Correct. Obviously, correct us if we're wrong, of course. But I just want to piggyback off what you said. That art T-shirt, well, the key art really, because it looks like we're getting a poster of it as well, and it's going to be on a bag. I love it. I'm not a big Terrifier fan, and I said to myself I probably wouldn't get probably Terrifier merch because it's a little bit deranged looking. But I love the placement. I love the Clown Cafe and the Terrifier Funhouse at the bottom. I think the Pale Girl and art look amazing, and to top it all off, the Universal Arch in the background just makes it. So I love that one. Freddy Fazbear sign, I'm with you. But if you do peep right at the back, they do have the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria red cup that they have from Pizza Hut. I really, really hope you can buy this because I do want that red cup because it's very, very iconic for like 90s Pizza Hut.
What if we get a specialty drink in the cup?
That'd be awesome. That would be even better because I will be getting it.
The Terrifier t-shirt reminds me of like the 2018 Stranger Things artwork.
Yeah.
That we had with the arches in the back. It has the same sort of odd look to it.
Yeah. And the placement on it. The placement of the stuff looks awesome. And it just pops. The colours just pop on it. I really, really like it. Another thing
I love how it hasn't got the word Terrifier plastered all over the front.
Yep.
Like, look at me, I'm a mega IP. It's just, they've focused on the actual characters rather than just the words, which I think's a nice touch.
Yeah. I love it. And it looks also like, I don't see one for WWE, but if you look at the Freddy Fazbear, Terrifier, and Fallout, it looks like they have little bobbleheads for each IP. I don't see one for WWE, but you may get one for each IP. Last thing I really like is I do like the lanyard for the Fallout because it's almost the TV show characters in the style of Vault Boy. So I do really like that too. And the Vault Tech mug is 100% coming home.
That crossbody bag though, how sick is that?
Yeah. So I love Pip-Boy, and to have a Pip-Boy on you is amazing. Of course, if you play the Fallout games and you've watched Fallout TV show, the Pip-Boy usually goes on your wrist and your forearm, but that just looks amazing. I think, I don't know if I'll pick it up, but
I really hope that writing glows in the dark.
Oh, it's got
like UV backlit. I think that would be so cool.
Awesome. And then the Hamikuma. Usually for me, right, I think when there's such unique merch, or maybe rare's not the right word, but well, let's just use like rare merch that's overseas, that's finally come, because these sell on eBay for well over $100 from the Asian parks. So to have a popcorn bucket plus the plush, I'll probably pick both of those if I'm being honest. I'll leave the headband. You can have the headband.
I'll rock the headband. I'll support the band.
Well, that's it for merch. Any other comments on merch for the park?
No, I'm very excited to see the house shirt though with the conservatory theme with the vines and stuff.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for now, isn't it?
Wasn't overly fan on last year's with the rock theme, but I bought it because I've bought every single year since
it's an obligation
to now. So I couldn't not. So I'm hoping this year is one that I will be happier to wear.
Yeah. Awesome. And then finally, we have our Vault Boys tips and tricks. Florida weather can be unpredictable, but we know one thing for sure. For most of the event, it's going to be hot, sticky, sweaty, humid. So do plan comfortable outfits that breathe and can handle insane humidity. Pack a portable handheld fan. Poncho if necessary. We don't want people suffering from heat strokes in those long queues, especially now you can get in them early. We know opening night weekend usually rains. You're in like hurricane season, hurricane territory too, so just be careful out there. I understand it's nice, or it's a good feeling to look good in heels. Use your brains, use common sense here when you're walking through the parks.
Another thing with shoe selection as well is the walks on the new tents at the back are on like a boardwalk style wooden sort of platform. And it's not very well lit. So every year you do see multiple casualties falling over and stuff. So again, another thing about the sensible shoes is bear in mind you've got to walk on a lot of uneven surfaces during the night as well. The soundstage is fine, but around the back at the tents can be a little bit unpredictable.
Agreed.
And as well, make sure you hydrate. Have a drink of water. Water's free anywhere at Universal, any restaurant, even the Starbucks. Cups are cold and they come with ice. So you can use a freestyle, is that right, Ash, as well, for just water?
Yeah, freestyles for just water. And I know sometimes we take our like liquid IVs in too that you can use for electrolytes.
I was just about to say I highly recommend Liquid IV. Ash and his wife got me and Becca onto them, and we buy a couple of boxes of them to last, and normally have one or two a day, depending on how long we're out for. Other brands are available. I believe Publix and Target and stuff do their own brands and that now. Another thing as well with the freestyle is if you activate your cup first thing in the morning, it does last until midnight, so it will last during the day in the park and all the way through Horror Nights as well. And with pass holder discount, I think it's around $16 to $18, I think.
Yeah.
So less than $20 for unlimited drinks for all day.
Oh, that's such a great deal. Just make sure to chase every Diet Coke with the water, because you will get dehydrated.
Yeah, but the freestyle does do like vitamin water and Powerade and all that sort of stuff. So, if you're a fan of soda, definitely, try and get a couple of Powerades in between to keep the electrolytes going.
Yeah, 100%. And then I touched on it a moment ago, but plan for rain, even torrential rain, or if you're not familiar, it's sort of hurricane territory. It does rain a lot in September. So if traveling in for the event, pack more than one set of shoes, just in case the first pair gets soaked. You don't need to have a pair of extra shoes with you on person. I'm talking like hotel, car, whatever it may be. You can sort of dry off because it's so hot, but once your shoes and socks get wet, that is it. You're done. They just do not get dry. It's impossible. We do recommend ponchos or umbrellas, but it's hard to navigate with an umbrella. Just be aware the rain means that scare zones will usually get postponed for inclement weather until the scare actors are safe to return, but the houses tend to operate unless there's some sort of technical issue with the weather.
Definitely. And again, to touch on the shoes again, running trainers, make sure that, you've got, if you're at a theme park goer, I'm guessing you have got comfortable shoes, but make sure they're like worn-in shoes, because I've heard nightmare stories of people buying brand new shoes, wearing them to the park and then to Horror Nights, and the blisters do kick in. But just bear in mind that if you do have any sort of incident, there is a ton of first aid around the parks. You can go get a Band-Aid at first aid if you need any medication. If you've got a headache or anything like that, even, that can help you out there as well with some pain meds. What's Tylenol? That can help you out with that as well. So that's a good bonus as well.
Yeah, and most places sell it across the counter too. Even if you have heartburn or indigestion, just something trivial like that, they can sell you a pack of Tums across the counter in most retail spots too. So yeah. One big tip from us as well is know the content. Now, there are some video games on here, so Fallout and Five Nights at Freddy's. The good thing is we have a TV series and we have the movie. Definitely watch both of them. You don't need to really play the games. You can watch walkthroughs if you want, or, things like that on YouTube. That's fine, but definitely know the content. It just makes for a much better experience in the house. It's always good when you spot little Easter eggs and little nods to a series. Jason universe is tricky because there's so many movies. I would definitely recommend maybe like 2 and 3, just because he has the burlap sack and then he finally gets the hockey mask. So maybe dig into those. Wrestling, there is the Bray Wyatt documentary on Peacock. You know, if you're a Universal fan, it's Comcast, it's NBC, you should have Peacock, so come on. But it's on Peacock, so watch that. What else? What are the can we dive into?
I'm sure you can be able to search on YouTube Jason's top 10 kills.
Yeah, there you go.
You'll be able to see like a compilation video of some of the most iconic kills, which we probably will see in the house.
Yeah,
so we'll definitely check that out.
Oh, Terrifier 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 are on Peacock. So yeah, definitely acquaint yourself with the source material. Reason being as well, like Terrifier House, Damien Leone said every single kill of art will be in the house. So every single one, period. So it's important to know the source material. Or if you want to go in blind, completely understand the opposite too. Finally, I think Terrifier is a nice little segue to this, but know your limits. There's no official age restrictions, but 13 is the recommended age. So if you're traveling with children younger than 13, it could be too intense for them. It's a case-by-case basis. You know your child better than anybody. Watch some vlogs first. You know, we have Gary and Becca. If you go watch those vlogs, or Disco Lizz, they have vlogged Horror Nights for years and years and years. Not since it's just been cool to do it. I'm going to throw that out there. But yeah, watch some vlogs, because the vlogs don't include the house footage. So it's good to get a gauge of the sort of atmosphere, and then you'll know what your kid can handle in terms of house. Is that fair to say?
It is, yeah. And on a side note, if you do want to see what the houses are like, check out our vlog from RIP to our last year, the media event. We got permission to film inside of all 10 houses. So we have all the footage on there. So if you just... Last year, it's not going to spoil anything because it's nothing that's going to be here this year, but you can sort of see what the intensity is like in the houses. And if you want to hear Tim scream all night, definitely a fun thing to do as well.
Yes.
And we have, last but not least, the most important tip of all. If you see any of the RIP to our guides in the fog, us, me, Ash, Tim, Liz, come say hello. We have gifts to hand out every single night. We have buttons to hand out. I think we have some stickers left from last year. And we love speaking to everyone who listens. I still find it crazy that people stop. I remember one night last year we were in a house queue and 2 people turned around and asked me and Ash if it was us from RIP, just because they recognised our voices, which was absolutely wild. But every year we do buttons, but we do a fun little game where we give away a rare button. So we have a limited edition button, which we have smaller quantities of, and we tweet out a password on Instagram and Twitter every night. And if you say the password, you get one of the special buttons as well. So I think that's a nice little fun thing to play, and people have hunted us down for those limited edition buttons as well. So it's a nice fun little thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Follow up on that. Always come and say hi. We love meeting people, and we're very humbled when people come up and say, hey, we love listening to you, and we love like following you on the social. So yeah, please come and say hi. I'd love to meet more people this year. And then coming episodes. So just to kind of wrap this up, we have lives coming on the 14th and the 21st. Just a sort of informal chat like we did on Thursday. And the one everyone waits for every year, we have our hype list. So we have Ash's correct list, and then we have 3 other lists in the same episode. Yeah, hype list is always fun, right?
It is, because I just love arguing with Tim for 2 hours on air.
Yeah, Tim had a house at number 1 for HHN 31. So I'm not going to name it because I don't like doing that to houses, but he had one at 1 on his hype list, and it turned out to be not so good. So I always have that over him. But
if you want to know what it is, go to the Dead Coconut Club this year, and then you'll find out.
Spoilers. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. As you can probably tell, especially on, we are trying to get better on the social. Well, I say get better, I think we are posting regularly. We're all singing from the same hymn sheet in terms of getting that content out, because people like it. People like to engage with us and listen to the content. So we really appreciate anybody who interacts and likes and retweets and whatever it is may be. So final thing, where to find us. We are at RIP Tour Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, right here on YouTube if you're watching us. We also have a Discord and we have a Spreadshirt. There's no new shirts this year, but if you do want to support us out there in the fog, Spreadshirt is the best place to get an RIP Tour shirt to support us. We would appreciate that. And while you're here, if you like the episode, like, subscribe. It's free. Gary, 1,000 subscribers now on YouTube.
I know, crazy. So thank you to everyone who's watching us. We will be doing some Horror Nights vlogs, so we won't just be doing the podcast style.
Yep.
I've just bought a new camera. I mean, I do vlogs anyway on my channel, but Ash has also bought a new camera as well, so we're going to do some vlogs. Going to vlog our experience at Horror Nights, just hanging out, having fun in the fog. So we'll try and get a couple of those up during the season, and just happy to hit 1,000. We're about to hit 1,000 on TikTok, and we've only just started using that, and almost 2,000 on Instagram. So again, just want to echo Ash and say thank you to everybody who, follows along. And when we started, we didn't realize how big this would get, and we rejigged how we do things now, because we were just concentrating on the audio version, but now we sort of try and get a even playing field and give attention to all our socials. So thank you to everyone who's noticed and commented and liked and got involved.
Yep, couldn't have said it better myself. And I hope people like this sort of more creative take on the first timers tips or beginner's guide. I think a lot of people will get something out of it, even seasoned people, because there are quite a few changes. I thought it'd be a little bit better than doing just us talking, just maybe get a little bit more creative with our Fallout RP as well. So we appreciate you listening, guys. Thanks again. And from both of us, bye.
Bye.